The Galactic Concord ruled most of the known stars for thousands of years. Many species joined them. Some came for safety, some came for trade, some came because they had no choice. The Concord promised peace and progress. All worlds followed the same laws. All paid tribute in resources or tech. No one fought the Concord and won. That was the rule everyone knew. Earth broke that rule from the start. When alien ships first arrived, humans said hello, then built bigger ships of their own. They sent probes out, they mined asteroids, they put stations in orbit. They never asked permission. The Concord watched and waited. Humans grew fast, too fast. The council met many times. Some wanted to ignore the small blue world. Others said, wait and see. But humans kept pushing. They reached Mars. They tested big weapons in secret. They ignored every warning signal sent from space. Finally, the council had enough. They called it the Sol threat. Humans were not ready to join, but they might become dangerous later. Better to act now. The vote was almost all yes. 9,700 warships would go to Earth. It was more ships than any war before. Every major species sent their best. Luminari gave crystal ships that bent light. Vorath sent living vessels grown from special seeds. Krell sent long hunters with plasma spears. Many smaller races added their fleets too. The armada looked like a sea of stars moving together. High Admiral Zethkar led the force. He was Eldari, old and wise. His people built the first ships of the Concord long ago. He stood tall, with silver skin and bright blue eyes. His flagship was the biggest, a shining palace of crystal that could hold 10,000 crew. He looked at maps of the Sol system and smiled. This will be quick, he told his officers. Humans have no real navy. Their weapons are crude. They will see our power and kneel. The fleet jumped through the void in tight formation. They came out near Jupiter. The big gas planet looked tiny next to so many ships. Ahead and sent back pictures. Earth had some stations around it. A few ships moved in neat lines. The moon had bases, but nothing big. The admiral laughed. Our sensors see no threat, he said. This is a backwater world. Send the message. A strong signal went out to Earth. It played on every screen and speaker. This is High Admiral Zethkar of the Galactic Concord. Your time is short. You have 72 hours to lower all weapons and accept our rule. Your leaders must broadcast surrender. If you refuse, your cities will burn from the sky. Choose now. The words came in every human tongue. The message looped again and again. People on Earth heard it. In big cities, folks stopped to listen. In small towns, they gathered around radios. No one panicked. Leaders spoke calm words. We knew this might happen, they said. Stay ready. Follow the plan. Soldiers went to posts. Pilots climbed into fighters. Engineers checked machines. In space stations, crews watched the sky fill with enemy lights. They did not run. Smiled and said, "It is time." Zethkar waited for a reply. Nothing came. No calls. No flags of white. Just quiet. The admiral did not like quiet. He ordered the fleet to move closer. Past the red planet, Mars showed human domes and tracks, but no big guns. Past the asteroid fields, where small rocks floated, the ships lit up the dark with engine glow. Humans saw them coming. They counted the lights and kept working. On the flagship, Zethkar walked the deck. His officers stood straight. They talked about the plan. First, show force. Hit an empty spot on the moon. Then demand answer. If no answer, hit a city, then another, then keep going until humans beg. The admiral nodded. Good, he said. Let them see what real power looks like. A Vorath captain spoke up. My carrier can fire first. It will make a good show. Zethkar agreed. Do it now. The living ship moved forward. Its hull pulsed like a heart. Then a bright lance of plasma shot out toward the moon. The beam hit regolith. Dust flew up in a big cloud. Watched and waited for cheers. Instead, small sparks appeared on the lunar surface. Then, fast streaks came back. Many of them, very fast. They slammed into the Vorath carrier. The big ship shook. Hard. Metal tore open. Fire bloomed inside. The vessel broke in half. Crew screams filled the comms. Then silence. The admiral stared. His face went pale. "What weapon was that?" he asked. His sensor officer checked data. Kinetic impacts. Very high speed. Projectiles from under the ground. No energy signature. Just mass and velocity. Zethkar felt cold. This was not in the reports. Humans hid things, he said. "Raise all shields. Move slow. Find those launchers. We will not lose more ships." The fleet slowed and spread out. They scanned hard. Light beams swept the moon and space. Small flashes appeared again. More streaks came. Some hit shields and stopped. Some punched through. The admiral ordered return fire. Many ships shot at once. Plasma and particle beams lit the void. The moon took hits. Big craters formed. Clouds grew. But no human ships died. They stayed hidden and kept shooting. Zethkar looked at Earth again. The blue ball turned slow under him. He thought about the message. Humans still said nothing. No fear, no pleas, just more silence. He felt something tight in his chest, something he forgot long ago. He turned to his officers. "Prepare full advance. We end this soon." But in his mind, a small voice whispered, "This may not be easy." The stars looked dark suddenly. The Armada moved on, toward the small world that waited. The Armada pushed deeper into the Sol system. Past Jupiter, the ships spread out like a giant net. They moved slow now, careful after the first losses. Zethkar stood on his bridge and watched the view screen. The blue planet grew bigger. Earth looked peaceful from far away. Clouds swirled over oceans. Cities glowed at night. But he knew better now. Humans hid teeth behind smiles. The fleet reached Mars orbit. The red world had thin air and old human tracks. Domes sparkled under the weak sun. Small ships flew between them. Nothing looked strong. Zethkar pointed to a mining base on the surface. "Take that one," he ordered. "A simple target. Show them we mean business." 3 Krell long hunters moved forward. Their hulls glowed hot. Plasma built up inside long tubes. The lead ship fired first. A bright spear of fire raced down. It hit the dome hard. Glass and metal flew outward. Dust rose in a tall cloud. The admiral nodded. "Good. Now they will see." But the dust settled fast. No screams came over open channels. No escape pods launched. Instead, small shapes rose from hidden pits on the surface. Tiny dots at first, then bigger. They moved quick, hundreds of them. Bristle drones, the humans called them later. Small, cheap, fast. Each one carried sharp teeth and angry hearts. The drones swarmed the Krell ships. They flew in wild patterns, too many to track. Point defense guns on the hunters spat fire, but the drones dodged and twisted. Some exploded on purpose. Bright flashes blinded sensors. Others rammed hulls and burst open. Nuclear-pumped lasers fired in short bursts. X-rays cut through armor like knives. One Krell ship lost an engine. Another lost its bridge. The third tried to pull back. Too late. Drones covered it like angry insects. It broke apart in silence. Zethkar slammed his fist on the console. "Stop this," he shouted. "Pull back. Form a wall of shields." The fleet obeyed. Ships turned side by side. Crystal barriers shimmered. Vorath living hulls grew thick plates. The Armada held position and waited. Humans stopped shooting for a moment. Quiet returned. The admiral breathed deep. "They use swarms," he said. "Like insects. But insects can be crushed. Send the Vorath carriers forward. Clear the path." The hive ships pulsed forward. Their skin opened like flowers. Thousands more drones launched from inside. Not small ones, big ones, armed with missiles and beams. The battle grew loud again. Human stations around Mars answered back. Railguns hidden in craters fired long slugs. Metal rods moved so fast they glowed from friction. They hit Vorath carriers hard. One big living ship split open. Green fluid sprayed into space. Another lost half its mass, but kept fighting. The humans did not stop. They launched more drones, more missiles, simple rockets with big warheads. No fancy tech, just raw power. Zethkar watched numbers drop on his screen. Losses climbed fast. 5 ships gone. 10. 20. He felt anger rise. These primitives should not do this. His people ruled stars for ages. Yet here, small blue world, bit back hard. He ordered full advance. Push to Earth. No more games. Burn their orbitals. The fleet surged forward. Engines roared. The void filled with light. Beams crossed in every direction. Human ships appeared now. Not many. Small and ugly compared to Concorde vessels. But they moved strange. They twisted at high speed. Pilots inside pulled turns that should break bones. Humans laughed on open channels. "Come get some," they said. Their voices sounded happy. One human frigate charged straight at a Luminary dreadnought. The big crystal ship fired everything it had. Beams hit the human ship. Armor burned away. Pieces flew off. But the frigate kept coming. It rammed the dreadnought's side. Hard. Crystal shattered. The human ship exploded inside the wound. Fire spread through corridors. The dreadnought listed, then broke in two. Zethkar stared, mouth open. "That was suicide," he whispered. His officers looked pale. No one spoke. The admiral turned to sensors. "Find their main fleet. Where do they hide?" "Back fast." No big fleet in inner system. Only small groups, scattered like seeds. Many ships stayed dark. No heat, no light. They waited in asteroid belts, in deep shadows, in places sensors missed. The armada reached the asteroid belt. Rocks floated everywhere, big and small. Human bases hid inside some, hollowed out, turned into forts. Railguns poked out like thorns. Mines drifted silent until touched. One Vorath carrier hit a minefield. It bloomed bright. The carrier crumpled inward, like a hand closing. The admiral ordered scouts ahead. Clear paths, but scouts vanished one by one. Then the real trap sprang. From behind the fleet, shadows moved. Black ships rose from the dark. They came from the outer system. Kuiper Belt, Oort Cloud, places the Concorde ignored. Human stealth navy. The ships looked old. Some patched, some ugly. But weapons worked fine. They struck rear ships hard. No warning, no mercy. Panic spread through the armada. Ships turned to fight back. But humans hit and ran. They fired from angles no one expected. A Krell squadron chased one human ship. It led them into a kill zone. Hidden nukes went off. Bright flashes cooked shields. Ships died fast. The chase became a grave. Zethkar called for order. "Hold formation. Do not chase. We push forward." He tried to sound strong, but his voice shook. The fleet obeyed. They burned engines hard, past Mars, past the belt, toward the small moon and blue world. The armada looked smaller now. Gaps showed where ships used to be. On Earth, people watched feeds from space. Stations. They saw lights flash. They counted enemy ships dropping. They cheered quiet, not loud, no dancing, just nods and hard smiles. Leaders spoke to troops. "Stay ready. It gets closer now." Pilots climbed into Hornets. Fighters built for one thing: survive and kill. Crews loaded missiles, checked guns, tested engines. In orbit, human defense rings waited. They looked like big wheels. Habitats on outside, weapons inside. When the time came, they would unfold. Flowers with teeth. Mass drivers spun up. Power plants hummed. Geothermal taps deep in Earth fed energy. No fancy reactors, just hot rock and water turned to steam, turned to power. simple and strong. Zethkar saw the rings on scans. He frowned. "Those look civilian," he said. "Harmless." His sensor chief shook head. "No, Admiral. Power readings high, very high." The Admiral felt cold again. He remembered old stories, tales of death worlds, worlds that bred killers, worlds that ate invaders. He pushed the thought away. "No," he said. "We are the Concord. We win." The fleet closed on Earth-Moon space, the last stretch, the final test. Lights from human cities twinkled below. No blackout, no fear, just life going on. The Admiral looked at the blue marble and whispered, "Soon you will kneel." But deep inside he knew. Something waited, something hungry. The stars grew quiet. The Armada moved on, into the trap humans built over many years. The battle turned into a meat grinder once the Armada reached Earth-Moon space. Zethkar stood on his bridge and watched horror grow on every face around him. His once proud fleet looked ragged now, gaps everywhere where proud ships used to shine. Many hulls leaked air and fire. Some spun slow with no power left. The Admiral gripped the rail tight. His silver skin felt cold. This was not supposed to happen. Human orbitals unfolded like traps waiting for prey. The big rings that looked like homes now showed teeth. Coil guns spun up fast. Long barrels poked out from hidden bays. They fired in rhythm. Heavy slugs raced out. No light, no sound in vacuum, just death coming fast. One slug hit a luminary dreadnought square in the core. Crystals shattered outward like broken glass. The ship folded in half, then bloomed into a bright flower of plasma. Crews inside had no time to scream. Zethkar shouted orders. "Form wedge. Push through. We reach the planet's surface. Burn their cities." Ships bunched together. Shields overlapped in desperate layers. But humans did not fight fair. They used tricks. Old tricks. Death world tricks. Subpens on Earth opened underwater doors. Missiles rose on steam plumes. Simple chemical rockets, but packed with warheads that split into many. Smaller bomblets rained down. Point defense tried to catch them. Too many, too fast. Some got through. They hit shields and cracked them. Others burrowed into hulls and exploded deep inside. A Vorath hive carrier took the worst hit. It pulsed once, then split open like overripe fruit. Green ichor sprayed in long arcs. Thousands of small spawn died in vacuum. Their minds linked to the hive screamed as one. The sound filled comms channels like nightmare music. The carrier drifted dead. A human stealth ship appeared from nowhere. It fired torpedoes into the wound. Fire raced through corridors. The hive died quiet at last. Human hornets launched in waves. Pilots wore suits built for high G. They pulled turns that cracked. Ribs on lesser species. Humans laughed as they flew. Their voices cut through jamming. "Come play," they said. "We got room for more." The small fighters danced between big ships. They fired guns that spat tungsten. They dropped mines that waited patient, then woke hungry. One Hornet pilot named Reyes flew straight at a Krell battleship, guns blazing. He dodged beams, spun, rolled, then rammed his cockpit into the enemy bridge. The explosion took the whole command deck. The Krell ship went dark. Zethkar felt rage burn hot. These apes fight like animals. No honor, no grace, just endless hate. He ordered boarding teams. "Prepare to take their stations. We will gut them from inside." Eldari Marines in bright armor launched from bays. They flew toward a human defense platform. Grapples shot out. Hooks bit metal. Airlocks forced open. The Marines poured in, expecting weak, soft targets. They found hell. Humans waited in corridors, suited in thick plates, powered exosuits that made them giants. Roared, loud in air. Axes, too, big, sharp things made for close work. The first Marine stepped in, A human met him with a swing. The blade bit deep through crystal armor. Green blood sprayed. The Marine fell. Others charged. Guns barked. Energy bolts met human slugs. Human armor held. Some cracked, but humans kept coming. One Marine shot a human in the chest. The man staggered, then laughed. Blood leaked, but he raised his gun, fired back. The Marine died. The human kept fighting. Boarding turned to slaughter. Humans treated alien ships like butcher shops. They moved in teams, covered corners, flanked, used vents, used traps. One group found the bridge. They blew the door. Marines inside tried to fight. Hand to hand, Eldari blades met human fists powered by servos. Bones cracked, skin tore. The last Marine fell. Human commanders stood over him, looked down, said simple words. "Welcome to Earth," then fired once. The bridge went quiet. Zethkar watched feeds from dying ships. His fleet broke apart. Vorath accused Krell of bad tactics. Krell called Luminari cowards. Smaller races tried to run. Some jumped blind into warp. Others begged for mercy on open channels. Humans answered with more fire. No mercy given, no quarter asked. The armada that came as conquerors now ran like prey. Numbers fell fast, from thousands to hundreds, from hundreds to dozens. Zethkar lost count. He stared at the blue world below. Cities still lit. No blackouts, no panic. People walked streets, children played, soldiers waited calm. The Admiral wondered how. How could primitives do this? How could Deathworlders hide such strength for so long? His officers whispered old tales. Worlds that bred killers, worlds that laughed at pain, worlds that ate empires. He hated those tales. Now they felt true. A human signal broke through jamming. Clear voice, strong, no fear. This is sole command. Your fleet is broken. Your time runs out. Turn back or die. The words hung in air. Zethkar felt something snap inside. Captains, we fight to the end. No retreat, no surrender. We die proud. His voice cracked at the last word. No one answered. Many looked away. The armada pushed one last time, toward low orbit, toward the heart of human space. Human Black Fleet arrived then. Ships kept hidden for centuries. Ugly modular, built to lose pieces and keep fighting. They rose from shadows. Engines burned dirty and hot. Weapons spoke loud. Railguns, coil guns, missiles, torpedoes, all at once, the void lit up like day. Human ships met Concord remnants head-on. No fancy dance, just hammer blows. One Black Fleet cruiser took plasma fire to the bow. Armor peeled away, but it kept coming. Secondary guns fired. Tertiary power kicked in. It rammed a Vorath remnant, split it open, then kept going. Humans aboard cheered rough voices over comms. Another day at work, they said. Zethkar flagship took hits too. Shields failed, hull breached, air rushed out. Crews sealed doors, fought fires, fought borders. Humans came again. Through vents, Marines in black armor moved slow. Methodical. They cleared deck by deck. Zethkar pulled his sidearm. Old energy blade glowed blue. He stood on bridge, ready to die fighting. A human squad breached the final door. Big soldier in front, raised rifle, looked at Admiral, said nothing. Zethkar charged. Blade high, the human sidestepped. Fired once. Stun round, not kill. The Admiral fell, twitching, muscles locked. He watched humans secure the bridge. They tied him gentle. No torture, just control. One human looked down, said, "You came to a death world. You get what you get." The battle raged on around them. Ships died one by one. Concord pride burned away in fire and silence. Humans did not stop. They pressed. They hunted. They finished what started long ago. The meat grinder kept turning until almost nothing moved except human ships and the quiet blue world below that refused to kneel. The reckoning came hard in low Earth orbit. Zethkar sat bound in his own flagship bridge, ropes tight around wrists and ankles. Human Marines stood guard, tall in black armor, faces hidden behind visors. They said little, just watched. The admiral looked out the cracked viewport at the ruin of his fleet. Only a few hundred ships left. Most limped, most bled air and power. The once mighty armada now looked like broken toys floating in the dark. Human black fleet closed in from all sides. Ugly ships, modular and mean, built to take punishment and give more. They moved in packs. No pretty formations, just straight lines of death. Railguns spoke first, long silent shots that punched through weakened shields. One shot hit a Krell remnant square in the engine core. The ship bloomed outward in white fire. Pieces spun away slow. The Krell crew had no chance to fight back. Zethkar felt his stomach twist. He remembered the vote in the Concord Hall. Laughter when they spoke of Earth. Easy win, they said. Primitive world. Quick lesson. Now the lesson came back twisted and sharp. A human voice broke over the comms. This is Sol Command. Final warning. Power down weapons and prepare to be boarded. Resistance means death. The words came calm. No anger, no joy, just fact. Some alien captains obeyed. A few smaller ships went dark. Weapons cold, lights dim. They sent surrender codes. Humans accepted. No cheers, no taunts. Just docking clamps and boarding teams. Others fought on. A Luminari dreadnought fired one last desperate volley. Crystal lances bright and pure. They hit a Black Fleet cruiser. Armor burned black, but the cruiser kept coming. Secondary guns answered. Particle beams carved deep into the crystal heart. The dreadnought cracked open like an egg. Light spilled out, then died. Boarding began in earnest. Human drop pods rained from orbit. Small metal coffins that punched through hulls. They landed hard. Airlocks blew open. Marines poured out. Suited for vacuum, for zero-G, for pain. They moved fast. 4 or 5 clear rooms. Secure halls. Take prisoners or clear bodies, no middle ground. One team found a Vorath nursery chamber. Small spawn clung to walls. Minds linked in terror. Humans paused for a second, then sealed the door and moved on. No needless cruelty, but no mercy either. Zethkar watched his officers face the same fate. One by one, humans came. They took weapons. They took data cores. They took lives when needed. His first officer tried to fight. Knife in hand, quick slash at a Marine. The Marine caught the wrist, twisted hard. Own snapped. The officer screamed. The Marine said sorry in a flat voice, then zip-tied him down. Zethkar looked away. This was not war. This was harvest. The flagship shook again. Hits from outside. Human super lasers from ground stations reached up. Beams of coherent light, thick as trees. They sliced through what remained of shields, cut holes like hot knives through fat. One beam found the engine deck. Fire raced aft. Crews tried to vent, but too late. Listed hard. Gravity failed. Objects floated slow. Zethkar floated too. Ropes held him to the chair. He felt weightless and sick. A human general boarded last. Big man in command suit. No helmet. Face scarred and calm. He walked to Zethkar. Looked down. Said, "You are High Admiral Zethkar, the one who sent the message." Zethkar nodded once. The general continued. "Your fleet came to conquer. You failed. You will go home now, not as conqueror, as witness. Tell your council what happens when you attack a death world." The admiral stared. No words came. The general turned to his Marines. "Take him to the shuttle, gentle but firm." They moved Zethkar through corridors he once ruled. Bodies floated past, some alien, some human, all still. He saw his bridge crew tied in lines, heads down. Some wept quiet, others stared blank. Humans did not mock, they just worked. Efficient, cold. The shuttle waited, small, cramped, built for prisoners. Zethkar strapped in beside other captured officers, from different species, all silent, broken. Outside, the battle wound down. Last Concorde ships tried to run. Some jumped blind into warp. Others surrendered. More died. Human hornets chased the runners, picked them off one by one. No escape, no hiding. The void belonged to Earth now. The blue planet turned below. Cities still bright, lights still on. People still lived as if nothing changed. Zethkar looked at Earth one last time. From close it looked alive. Clouds moved slow. Oceans sparkled. Cities pulsed like hearts. He saw no scars from the fight. No burning lands. No dead seas. Humans fought clean. They defended. They won. They cleaned up. The Admiral felt small. Smaller than ever. His empire vast and old, yet beaten by apes from one small rock. The shuttle detached. Slow push away from the dying flagship. Humans did not destroy it. They left it as monument. Broken but whole. A warning to any who looked. Zethkar's ship drifted away. Engines cold. Lights off. The name still glowed faint on the hull. High glory. Now just glory no more. 18 ships survived in the end. Not by mercy, but choice. Humans let them go. Let them limp home. Let them carry stories. Let them carry fear. The survivors gathered what power they had, jumped out of Sol's system. One by one, they broadcast distress calls, weak signals, full of static, full of terror. Recordings played across channels. Footage of human marines storming bridges. Footage of ships shrugging hits that should kill. Footage of a lone human soldier on a ruined command deck, planting a blue and white flag. Simple cloth on a pole. Wind from thence made it wave. Med bays waited. Doctors checked wounds. Gave food. Gave water. No chains after that. Just guards. Polite, but firm. Zethkar and the others waited for transport home. The Concorde would send ships. Not warships. Diplomatic ones. To talk. To beg. To trade. Perhaps to apologize. The stars changed that day. The Concorde learned fear. Earth learned nothing new. They always knew they were dangerous. Zethkar thought of the title that would spread. The galaxy sent 9,700 warships to Earth. Only 18 survived. Alive. Words that would echo in council halls. Words that would quiet boasts. Words that would end dreams of conquest. He closed his eyes. The shuttle engines hummed soft, ready for the long trip back. The reckoning finished. The survivors carried the lesson home, and the galaxy listened close. The survivors limped away from the Sol system. 18 ships in total. Broken hulls leaking fire and air. Engines coughing weak thrust. Crews inside stared blank at empty space. No cheers, no psalms, just quiet shock. The once mighty armada reduced to scraps, drifting like ghosts. Zethkar sat in the shuttle that carried him to one of the few remaining carriers. His wrists still bore marks from human ropes. His mind replayed every moment of the defeat. The blue world grew small behind them, then vanished as the jump drive engaged. The ships translated into warp one after another, not in formation, just desperate leaps to anywhere safe. Some emerged near friendly stations, others near neutral outposts. A few never arrived, lost to bad calculations or failing systems. The 18 that made it broadcast weak signals, distress calls laced with fear. They sent data bursts, full logs, sensor records, video feeds, raw, unedited proof of what happened. The galaxy listened. Worlds. Small stations picked them up. Operators froze as images played. Human marines storming crystal bridges. Human fighters dancing through plasma fire. Human soldiers planting flags on ruined decks. Laughter echoed in the feeds. Rough, happy voices saying, "Another day at work." The operators sent the data onward. Faster relays carried it to core systems, to the heart of the Concorde. The council chamber on the capital world fell silent when the recordings arrived. Thousands of delegates from every species sat in tears. High seats for the old races, low benches for the new. All watched the same screens. Zethkar appeared in one feed, bound but alive, his face pale, his eyes empty. He spoke slow words to a human general. "We came to conquer. You showed us otherwise." The human answered simple. "You came to a death world. Welcome to the food chain." The chamber gasped as one. The words hung heavy. No one laughed. No one argued. More footage rolled. Ships that should have lasted minutes kept fighting, meters thick. Redundant systems kicking in when primaries failed. Humans pulling turns at speeds that crushed lesser pilots. Yet they laughed. They cheered. They lived. The Council saw it all. The elegant Concord tech met brutal human engineering. Elegant lost every time. Species that once sneered, now whispered. The Sol anomaly. The Death World curse. Old tales rose again. Worlds that bred monsters. Worlds that turned invaders into food. The Luminari elders clutched their robes tight. The Vorath hive minds buzzed in distress. The Krell lowered their lances in shame. No second fleet formed. No talk of revenge. The Council met emergency session. Delegates argued loud. Some wanted war, some wanted walls, some wanted nothing at all. Just distance. Zethkar arrived days later, carried on a medical ship. He walked into the chamber slow, still in torn uniform, still proud but broken. He stood at the center podium, looked at the faces above him, then spoke clear. "This is what happened. 9,700 warships went to Earth 18, came back. The rest are gone. Not captured, not retreated, gone." He paused, then continued. "Humans do not fight like us. They fight to win. They fight dirty. They fight forever. Do not send another fleet. They will do it again, and next time, fewer will return." Silence followed his words. Deep silence. Delegates looked at data pads at each other, at the floor. No boasts, no plans. The vote came quick. Cease all military action towards Sol. Open diplomatic channels. Offer trade, offer aid, offer apologies if needed. Anything to keep the peace. The measure passed unanimous. No one objected. The galaxy shifted that day. The Concord learned caution. Earth became a name spoken soft, a place to avoid, a lesson carved in metal and bone. On Earth, the mood stayed calm. No parades, no big speeches. People went back to work. Shops opened. Schools rang bells. Farmers planted crops. Cities repaired small damage from stray shots. Nothing major. The leaders met in quiet rooms, reviewed losses, counted the dead, honored them. Simple words on walls. Names in books. No more. They knew the cost. They paid it. They won. Stories spread fast among humans. The 18 that lived. The flag on the deck. The words spoken to Zethkar. People smiled when they heard. "Do not test the apes" became a quiet joke. Said with pride. Said with truth. Soldiers who fought returned home. Hugged families. Told tales over food. Not bragging. Just facts. We held. We won. We live. Children listened wide-eyed. Then went out to play, under the same sky that saw the battle. Years passed. The title became legend. The galaxy sent 9,700 warships to Earth. Only 18 survive. Alive. Words carved on monuments. Words sung in bars. Words taught in schools. Not to boast, but to remember, to warn. The stars stayed quiet. No more armadas came. Traders arrived instead. Careful, polite. Ships with goods and questions. Humans met them, open but watchful. Trade grew, slow at first, then steady. The Concord sent envoys, young ones eager to learn. They walked Earth's streets. Saw the people, saw the cities, saw the scars under smiles. They asked why. How humans answered simple. We are from here. This is home. We protect it. Zethkar lived long after, retired to a quiet world, far from councils, far from fleets. He wrote books, told his story. No lies, no excuses, just truth. He looked at stars sometimes, thought of the blue marble, thought of the humans who laughed in battle, who refused to break, who turned conquerors into lessons. He smiled sad, sometimes whispered to the dark, "Thank you for showing me." He never said more. The galaxy changed slow. Species talked more, listened more, feared less, but respected more. Earth stayed small on maps, but big in minds. A single point of light that bent history around it. No empire rose to challenge it. No fleet gathered again. The stars learned fear, not loud fear, quiet fear, the kind that keeps peace, the kind that lasts. Humans looked up at night, saw the same stars, saw new ships come and go. They smiled, nodded, kept working, built more, kept ready, not for war, but for whatever came next, because they knew one truth above all: do not test the apes. The lesson stayed etched in void, in fire, in the silence of 18 ships that carried it home, and the galaxy listened close and remembered forever.